Good evening, friends. A very warm welcome to each one of you as we gather here for another great panel discussion on the VWC platform. Visionary Women's Circle is a premium platform, a subset of the video community aimed at fostering a dynamic and a mutually beneficial ecosystem for our members, mentors, advisors, and corporate supporters. This ecosystem aims to facilitate meaningful connections, knowledge exchange, and collaborative ventures. The circle seeks to empower its members through various initiatives and activities. With a focus on thought leadership and innovation, relationship cultivation, business engagements, and collaborations, etc., the members can grow, learn, collaborate, and thrive in their respective fields, ultimately contributing to a stronger, more interconnected professional community. Friends, branding is crucial for any business as it establishes a unique identity and differentiates it from competitors. Today's panel discussion is on the power of branding, where the industry experts will explore the essential aspects of creating a sustaining and a successful brand. This session aims to equip business, marketers, and entrepreneurs with practical insights and actionable advice to harness the power of branding effectively, fostering customer loyalty, and gaining a competitive edge. It said that a strong brand creates a memorable impression on consumers, fostering loyalty and trust. The panel discussion today will highlight the branding as foundation of a company's identity and reputation. Friends, please join me to welcome esteemed guests today. Today we have Mr. Vidyanathan Chandramouli from Chennai. Mr. Chandramouli holds an engineering degree and a certificate in leading and managing from IIM Calcutta. His industry certifications include Certified Information Systems Auditor, member of the Business Continuity Institute, Data Security Council of India, the Open Group Architecture Framework. He's a Six Sigma Black Belt and a lead auditor certifications in Information Systems and Management Systems, Business Continuity Management Systems, and Privacy Information Management Systems. He is also a certified ESG professional specializing in business responsibility and sustainability reporting and global reporting initiatives. Furthermore, he is certified by the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs as an independent director. Following a successful corporate career, Mr. Vaidyanathan established himself as a consultant and training. He provides exceptional risk-based advisory and training services, specializing in cybersecurity, business resilience, and ESG, that's environmental, social, and governance. Mr. Vaidyanathan is a sought-after speaker who has delivered talks in various industry bodies and academic institutions. His extensive knowledge spans business resilience, cybersecurity governance, operational excellence, crisis management, crisis leadership, ESG, and positive psychology. In addition to his advisory work, he currently serves as the president of ISACA Chennai chapter and as a founding member of the Business Continuity Institute, India chapter. He is associated with IoT Security Foundation as a member and a deputy leader of Chennai chapter. His dedication, expertise, and impressive certifications have made him respected authority in risk management and techno-commercial management leadership. Join me to welcome Mr. Vidyanathan Chandramouli. Good evening, sir.
Very good evening, Swapna. I'm
Right, sir.
really honored to
Right.
be called in here. Thank you. Looking forward to the panel discussion.
Certainly, sir. Thank you so much. Friends, our next guest today evening is Dr. Preeti Yamdagni from Mumbai, a relentless learner, a seasoned coach, corporate transformer, soft skills virtuoso, and a purpose coach on a mission to catalyze transformation in individuals and organizations alike. With 15 years plus of rich experience in teaching, mentoring, and coaching, Dr. Preeti has made it her life's mission to unveil your innate potential. As a purpose coach, she specializes in guiding individuals and organizations to unearth and harmonize with their core values, passions, and objectives. Leveraging motivational speaking, life coaching, and leadership techniques, she has empowered numerous clients to realize their personal and professional aspirations. Dr. Preeti Yamdagni has more than 17 years of experience with 50,000 plus hours of coaching and has published 7 research papers. We are happy to welcome Dr. Preeti Yamdagni. Good evening, Dr. Preeti Yamdagni.
Good evening, Sapna. Good evening, Vidyanathan ji.
Yes.
Good evening,
It,
Dr. Pitt.
it's really honor and a pleasure to have you both here today. And I'm very happy to talk about a very favorite subject of mine, the power of branding. I think today branding is the core of every business, and we people are really working towards creating a brand for the brand identity for their company. So I would like to understand, sir, I would like to first understand from you what exactly we really mean by branding.
Sure. Thank you. Uh, I'll just take a bit of background on what is branding, and then give some examples about it. See, branding is basically a process where a unique identity or an image is created, to display a product or a service or a company or an individual. Some there are some brandings done on the individuals, either by some of their statements or what they have been promoting, to keep it in the consumer's mind on a long run, so that they identify a particular brand with a particular this thing, so they will symbolize that. This involves having a consistent themes, symbols, and also a naming convention where it differentiates a particular company or an individual with their competitors. Okay, so branding encompasses not limited to logos, color schema, and slogans to overall customer experience and company values. To substantiate this, let me give some examples, where we can associate this logo, color schemas, or slogan with that. I'll use all the Indian companies examples here. If you look at Amul as a brand, right? Amul, if you look at the logo of Amul, it is in bold red letters with a tagline, Taste of India. So the red typography, if you look at it, it indicates the strength of that particular product and trustworthiness. And the tagline, what we see here, associates it with the country, right? And the culture of the country. On similar lines, if you take State Bank of India, right? It's a very, very simple logo which has been there for ages now, where it has a circle with a small cut. If you really look at it and see something, it is a keyhole, right? So it gives an emphasis, being a bank. It emphasizes a keyhole where the bank, whatever you are depositing or the money, what we are dealing with, this thing, it is secure, and you have a keyhole sort of a thing where you have to open it like a key, right? And last one, I will give an example of life insurance corporation, right? It has a two hands folds into a flame, right? Where the company name is written below. This again symbolizes with protection and security. So the logo plays an important element in any branding, and that's where people may associate an organization with what services they provide. Likewise, if you look at the color schemas, every company, right? Blue is something, a standard color being used by most of the corporates. It symbolizes the trustworthiness, right? In other words, some of the other color schemes, typically, if you look at ICCA Bank uses orange and color, orange and blue, which gives a orange is always associated with energy and enthusiasm. That's what it symbolizes. Again, if you go look at Asian paints, it is red and yellow, which means again energy, passion, and yellow signifies optimism, warmth. If you look at my own, image, my camera, and if you look at my own company's logo, which is Apayappa the Advisory, we are into this consulting, and we have used the oranges and yellow, signifying the risk and other aspects of it, right? So these are all the color schemas organization, which you can easily associate an organization with a color and what kind of products and services they are associated with. Lastly, I will look at the slogans. If you look at Tata Tea, for example, Tata Tea, if you look at all the ads, it will end with Jage Rago. Tata, it symbolizes where it encourages tea, for that, you can keep awake. Fevicol is something, from my childhood, I have been listening here. Fevicol ka jod टूटेगा नहीं. So anyone, if you hear the moment this particular slogan, you will actually associate with Fevicol wherever we are in this country. Last one, Surf Excel, right? It says Dag Acha hai. Again symbolizes with, associating with, the dag, any dag in on your clothes. If you use a Surf Excel, it will go. So these are all the things, we associate with that. When it
Right.
comes to individuals, you look at uh, our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. You know, he has always symbolizes to be the change agent. If you want to be a, if you want to bring some change into the world, our current prime minister, from the beginning, he has been talking about sabka saath, sabka vikas. The moment we hear that, we associate with our prime minister. Similarly, Dr. Abdul Kalam symbolizes with dream big, right? And then late foreign minister, Sushma Swaraji, she has she has been a pillar for all our brethren who are living outside the India, where she talks about Pravesi Bharatiya. So these are all the important elements when we associate what branding is all about. It encompasses a logo, a color schema, and a slogan with which we easily associate, be it a brand or an individual, with these kind of things. Back to you.
Right. So thank you. Wonderfully said. So yes, today I think there's a growing awareness of the way we create the logos, the colors associated with the logos. I think there's also and a different spiritual aspect to even creating the logos. I think we find a lot of people really looking forward to creating a particular color logos or particular style logos, which actually gives them the kind of strength or maybe that leverage about their competitors where they can really create their own brand in a different way. So like simple logos like a Nike, which is just a tick mark, but that it really symbolizes the way the tick mark is going upwards. So I think there is a lot of scientific way also attached to the logos, plus the color schemes also, since the colors represent a lot of I would say a lot of maybe the depth of building a brand, or like you said, the blue is always good for the leadership or trustworthiness. So likewise, your red color is also associated. Likewise, green color we associate with abundance, and I think yes, yes. So you were saying something.
Since you talked about Nike, that tick mark is called as swish, right? It
Ah,
associated with action, where it helps a runner to run faster.
yes.
Most of the marathoners or others, they get associated, and that swish is actually the action, which gives you the
Correct.
acceleration for you to run better.
Absolutely, absolutely. So wonderfully said, wonderfully said. Thank you so much for these insights, sir. Really made a lot of difference. Coming to you, Dr. Preeti. Dr. Preeti, can you hear
Yeah,
us?
obviously, yeah, I can hear.
Yes,
Obviously,
Dr. Preeti.
beautiful examples sir had given. I
Yes.
would like to emphasize here now most of the examples are already discussed. So here I would like to emphasize more on strategies. Why branding or how branding is a beautiful or powerful strategy. So to understand that, I would like to focus on some examples. Like to start with 10 powerful branding examples. If we have to see, that is one is Tesla, which is always talked about. So it is a great example. It transcend about electric vehicle industry by highlighting its commitment. So what that brand says. So with your logo, with the colors and other things, even brand speaks to you. So brand is creating an image in the minds of people. So if you hear a particular brand name, you get a clear image of that particular brand, what it is about. Like I said about Tesla, everyone can imagine about the vehicles. Even in our country also it was about to come. So Tesla's branding is not just relying on number of cars they sell, but on the profound impact that is very important and message they want to convey. So to commit, the message is innovation as well as the ethical business they are conveying. Since so many years, without so much of interest in cars, have already positioned Tesla is one of the best examples. Second example I would like to focus on is Apple, which is very common now. Once upon a time, Apple was very very expensive. It was used to consider only an expensive. Yes, obviously it is a status symbol also, but Apple is now everyone wants to have that Apple, and people are getting comfortable with that particular brand. So it is an example of that particular brand which is inspiring people. So it is for inspiration and full of illustration. This Apple company and products, they are based on Simon Sinek's golden circle, that is why, how, and what. So that is the framework it is depending on. Basically, what in catering to the needs of their customers, that is what they are positioning about. So Apple as a brand became cutting edge, or you can say manifest in the various products which are breaking through the noise in the smartphone and a laptop line of business. So they are being very, very successful. And the next is Coca Cola. So if we are talking about Coca Cola market or the brand, the power of that particular brand, it has become a global symbol, not just in here, but a global symbol of American taste. So basically, it is a patent medicine available over there, or you can call it uh, as I can see, or I can say that in 2021, during the pandemic, Coca Cola boldly erased its logo from its canned products and replaced with positive and inspirational resolutions. So, this is how branding works. And the next fourth example, which I would like to give, is about Amazon. Amazon is one of the e-commerce industry which has boomed like anything, and it has become trustworthy. You get various options over there, various products. So they have created their image like this. So with the experience or with the customer journey branding, they have become a powerful brand. So this is what I would like to emphasize more about the strategy. So these are some of the brands, like there are many more. So I had just taken four brands. So these are some of the brands which are really making it powerful impressions on the minds of people, not just one particular country, but everywhere globally.
Very wonderfully said, Dr. Preeti. So, Dr. Preeti, of course, well, learning these examples from you and Sir, I would also like to ask this question, which is interconnected. That how does this brand, become or rather contribute for a customer loyalty? So, how does this branding contribute for a customer loyalty? So, if you could just put some light on that as well, Dr. Preeti.
See, basically, as I said, brand is, as Sir described, brand is about, we create a brand means we are using colors, and every color has their significance. Similarly, when we talk about loyalty, over the period of time, when someone uses it, is word of mouth also, and someone has experience, like for example, I have experienced Nike, and Nike is best for sports category, in sports category, and trustworthy, rough and tough, you can use anyhow. So one, I was the person, I had used it, I told 10 more people, and every time when I think about sports, or when I'm thinking about participating, as I am a marathoner also, so I go for Nike. I trust that particular brand. So I'm going again with that brand, and I'm trying out new colors, new features, new variations which is coming up. So that is how brand creates the loyalty. As branding is not just once you have established with your color and logo, and but they have to come up every time with new varieties, or new one plus one features or aesthetics in that. That is how the loyalty is created, that every time you will go uh, and you will buy the particular product that is available. So this is what loyalty is coming up with the brand, or it is attached with the brand. That's why it is called as powerful brand.
Lovely, lovely. Yes, of course, right. I think word of mouth definitely helps, because once you get the feel or the comfort of a product, or you have that the trust over the product, then of course you want to go
Yes.
back, and then that's how you spread it to others. So would you
First is
also
the
give
I
your
I would
quality.
like to,
sorry?
yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead,
Dr.
go ahead,
Preeti,
go
you were
ahead.
saying something. Yes, Dr. Preeti,
Yeah.
you were saying something.
So,
Sorry.
No
Like
problem.
quality is there,
Yes.
and that's why new features are added. So whatever, you don't have to go to other place. Similarly, Apple, as I gave the example, people once they are Apple product using, they don't go to other product, and they are not comfortable. That is what the brand does. So they
Correct.
see that the loyalty is there. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So
right.
please, your views
So,
also.
right. I would like to add upon what Dr. Preeti talked about, right? If we are into Apple, that's what is the emotional connect. Brands like an Apple or a Nike and others, have brought with their customer. So any brand will have to associate with their customer emotionally so that they travel the journey on a long run. And the other is trust and reliability, what we talked about. A consistent quality, it will foster encouraging, and it will also have into a repeat purchase. A person who has bought an Apple product will necessarily stay with an Apple product and may not ever change over a period of time. Similarly, a runner, right? I am also a runner, and I do use a Nike for my own this thing. Not that we are trying to promote a particular brand, but
Right.
that the emotional connect we may have. Right, I'm going back to the good old days, right? I already spoke about surf some time back, but as we were growing up, we saw the Lalita ji ad of surf, right? So that's how we have all seen the importance of a brand, right? So we easily associate with that. Or a Nirma, it all started with the various personalities coming in. So that is the level of connects we bring in, right? So these are all the loyalty with which a brand gets associated and talks and engages with their customer. That's how the loyalty gets brought. And other, again, the customer experiences, and then what value it gives, right? Be it from a cost perspective or the services or product quality perspective, the value it brings for the customers. These are all the loyalty aspects of a particular brand vis-a-vis with the customer.
Absolutely, sir. Very rightly said. Yes, I think the way also it's been advertised, or the way it's been put to us, like how you give an example for Nirma ad, where you could see multiple personalities whom we connect or whom we know when we say that they are using. So, like today, we all know that Mr. Bachchan is a big brand ambassador for many of the products because people relate to Mr. Bachchan, and that's how they relate to the product. So that's the power of really, for that matter, even Amul. You see every day the branding of Amul changes, with the current I think market situation or the current news. Amul's branding changes, so that's how they're creating the I think the mark in the audience. But so that is where we are there. But to begin with, when the company wants is a new startup, or for that matter is trying to connect their brand, so how does a company begin to connect the or rather build the brand? That is what also we would like to understand from both of you. So anyone can go ahead and take up the question. So
Yeah.
how does the company really build the brand?
Okay. Should I or
Yes, yes, please, yes, please, Dr. Preeti, please go ahead.
yeah. Okay. Like when a startup company is there and they need to go ahead to build their brand, I can give a best example. Now it is not working, but yes, it was for a few months or years before. You can say there was an issue with Maggie. As we all know, Maggie is world famous and people love Maggie, and all ages people are comfortable with Maggie. And as we were talking before, like how loyalty is a Meri Maggie Kahani and all, Meri Maggie, Meri Kahani kind of campaign they had started. Similarly, when Maggie had faced an issue, that was the booming time where Patanjali thought this is the right time to enter into the market, and they came up with, as well as COVID was also there, so they came up with herbal kind of Maggie. So herbal products which are healthier also for the people, and that is how the startup company can build the image. They need to understand what is the market trend going on and how we can capture it. This is one of the examples of for few months they could rule the market because Maggie was out of the reach of the people, and so customers did not have any option and they were addicted to Maggie. Maggie is 2 minutes Maggie, so it's comfortable food for everyone. Second example I would like to give, like long back, Videocon was the company. That company entered into Indian market, and the company came up with beautiful designs, aesthetics, features, and various varieties they had given. Before that, there was a typical kind of TV, and all those products were there in electronics market or in the electronics industry, you can say. And Videocon understood what is the market and what is missing over there. So they understood through customers' angle. That is how they came up with different products, and they were ruling the market. But one mistake they did, they were only focusing on different colors, how one features they can add to their product, and that was their USP. And they forgot some products were defective and they could not match up their after sale service efficiency was not seen. That's how, that was the particular time when LG and Samsung was a startup, and they catch up the market because of that particular key ingredient. And they focused, and they started building an image that we are not just selling the product, we are there with you, attached with you throughout the year. So any defect, we will replace it, or we will clear it within few days. Like immediately the default will be replaced, or will get repaired, whatever was the best solution. So this is how the startup should know. First thing, what is the value you're going to give to your customers? Second thing, okay, for every product, there will be hundreds of competitors. So, what is the best thing? What is the one thing which is segregating you or differentiating you from the other product? That is very important. If you understand that, that is a gimmick. If you understand that, the image is created and you will start ruling the market.
Wow, wonderfully put, Dr. Preeti. Yes, you're right. Knowing your niche certainly helps you to stand out and have edge over others, because that's when you know that what is the problem that you're solving for others, and you're just not selling a service, but the problem that you're really solving for others. So yes, wonderfully said. Yes, sir, your views also on this.
So before I start my view, since Dr. Preeti talked about Videocon, in the same industry, I would like to touch upon the Wonida ads, owner's pride and neighbors envy. That's how it all started. Where they started to differentiate themselves with the competitors. Having said that, to address the particular question of viewers, I would put it in this way. Any How does an organization or a startup start putting together a brand? you know so they have to identify their branding. The branding also should convey the core values and vision of the organization, right? And it should be communicated in a way it is consistent from a visual standpoint and verbal identity standpoint, and always it has to be substantiated with high quality products and services. And then how do they engage with them? Having come with the branding vision and all, they should also have the engagement model. In the current scheme of things, when we have the media as one of the best form of this thing, so they need to create a strategy in, how do they use LinkedIn, what kind of market or the audience they will attract through LinkedIn. If their product or services is targeting towards the millennials or the current generation, then Insta or those are all the things that they will have to come when they start, so that they are targeting the segment whom they want to reach out to. I would like to give some examples here. Some of them may be new, some of them may be old, right? Asian Paints, for example, it always talks examples of homes to life. How Asian Paints will bring home, the paints will bring a life to the homes. Or Godrej, it comes with trust and innovation. Maruti Suzuki, for ages it has been delivering from a perspective of reliability and affordability. From a current standpoint, how do they differentiate with the crowd? This is something all of us will look at. As I gave an example of Odida TV, their communication style was owner's pride and neighbors envy. So that's what their pride was. So they, again, you go and target the niche segment, and then how do you provide innovative product and services like that? Examples here, while all other juice, were coming with a Tetra pack, Paper Boat came with a different option, right? It brought in the Indian beverages in a paper this thing, and it was all natural ingredients, in the beverage, and they did bring some disruption in the beverage industry. Royal Enfield, Royal Enfield has been there while so many new brands came in. Royal Enfield, we can proudly say it's one of the first two-wheelers that came into India, but they are still relevant. That classic 350 cc bike is even today relevant because of their niche and how they are targeting that particular segment. The other one, all of us are using uh, today the Bluetooth headset. Boat, Boat comes out constantly with innovative, so that they are targeting the younger generation, with some innovative products there. And lastly, Oyo rooms, right? Standardized affordable hotel rooms, where it brings in the convenience, reliability at a budgeted cost. The other examples, all of us can relate to is the good old Parle G biscuits, right? It mixes the nostalgia and the story of households over a period of time, right? And then Vistara, current Vistara ads, if you look at, they bring in the high content or high premium service Vistara Airlines, which we could differentiate with all other airlines we are having in India. So that's what they use a storytelling mechanism to enhance the brand, right? That's what I would sum up with, from how you build a strategy, and for a new organization, and how do they sustain that over a period of time.
Yes, wonderfully said, sir. Absolutely true. I think storytelling is, I think, also becoming a very important part of creating your brand. Like today, you spoke about Parle G. So I think Parle G is just not a biscuit, but it's the emotion of India. Because
Yeah.
if it's a biscuit, India connects with Parle G. Or that matter, if it has to be a two-wheeler, India connects with Royal Enfield. I as a child have grown up on Royal Enfield. Or that matter, today our police services, a lot of people have Royal Enfields. Or for that matter, everyone, it's a pride to have a Royal Enfield. Even though there would be all competitive bikes or other, but today Royal Enfield is still an emotion with Indian people. For that matter, even ambassador cars, even they are today still in emotion. And today you can only see that with the royal people or other people who are the bureaucrats. You can't have it, a normal person cannot have an ambassador. But I mean, these are the emotions. And as you rightly said wonderfully, yes, storytelling is a wonderful, I think, or rather crucial aspect of a brand building. So with this, I would like to also understand, when it coming to build a brand to begin with, what are the do's that a company should really look into? Of course, the services that they provide is something which is there. The problem that is they're solving is also there. So having said that, if a company has these two, three major critical things done, but how do they begin with really building their brand? If you could give some guidance on, how to begin with it. So I think any one of you can take up this question, and our audience would like to know, especially the startups or the companies who are really trying to establish a brand for themselves. So,
So
So
would you
you
right,
like
can
to
say,
go ahead? Yes, sir. Sir, please go ahead.
so to
Yes, sir.
begin with, as I said, I'll take my own example and I'll try to build upon. I'm into risk advisory, and when I thought it all starts with, we can associate. The upper here is associated with the risk, right? So that's where, from a connotation. Likewise, you start with that, and then providing your organization's vision and mission, and your target customers accordingly. That's how we typically start. And then also have strategies on how do you go and sustain it.
Yes.
It's not a one time affair where we just launch it and then no, it doesn't work that way. It has to be very clearly defined. How do we keep our engagement level consistent? You should not be overdoing, and you should not be underdoing as well, right? If you want to keep promoting, in LinkedIn, for example, a daily update is not going to be, it becomes a noise, right? So noise is also not going to help. You have to understand the noise as well as, in any call, even in this own streaming, it talks about noise reduction. We need to have a noise reduction when we are engaging with our audience. The moment that we are going to create too much of noise, it can also distract the possible
Yes.
customers, right? So you need
Yes.
to have that, and you need to identify, right? Today, the preferences of people. If your target segment is, boomer sort of age, this thing, what are the ways with which you may want to reach out to them? What kind of color coding you may want to use? So you need to have that. If your target audience is the millennials, right, then your target, so you should have a very clear strategy, and you need to associate, if you want to use a brand ambassador, you have to choose the brand as ambassador with whom you can relate to, right? In my own example, if for my age group, probably Rajinikanth would sell, but not for my daughter's age group, which may be true or wrong, but they may be able to associate with the current generation of players, not all, right? A Sachin may be there for all ages, but today it is the era of Kohlis or Dhonis, right?
Yes.
So you need to associate with that. So that's how they will have to bring their strategy, and bring in the consistency of how they want to do, and they should also have a clear strategy for various, if it is press media, then you have to use, these are all the things they're able to do. A LinkedIn, this is what is the approach. For a YouTube, this is what, right? So that's how I would say that we should begin the journey of branding.
Yes, very, very
Okay.
importantly said, sir. I think companies have to look into these aspects. Yes, Dr. Priti, we would like to have your views as well.
Yeah, sure. As Sir rightly said, when now I can take the example as you mentioned about Rajnikant also. So now today's generation, if you're talking about today's generation, Kartik Aaryan would be their choice. So brand ambassador, if Kartik Aaryan is there or Rohit Sharma is there, then people will get associated easily or get connected. But when from startups, what are the tools they have to use? Now depends upon what is your product or what is your services which you're going to offer, as LinkedIn is said to be professional things where you will get professional services or professional people where your business will get boost from that angle. But when if you want majority, if you want to target your based on your target audience, first you should be clear what is your target audience. If your target audience is youth and then middle age group, then you will get all those people available on your Instagram. Facebook is now old. Now people are not going on Facebook, but Insta, people are every time available on Insta, and people believe on Insta. So in Insta has become that great hype, you can say. For example, if I want to give the example, Cadbury. Cadbury celebrations, as we know, Cadbury ambassador is Amitabh Bachchan. So the moment Amitabh Bachchan, there was a trend. First, people used to, on all the festivals, people used to make homemade sweets and they used to give to each other, or the traditional kind of sweets only were distributed amongst each other for with our family, friends, relatives on the special occasions. But now, the campaign they started is um, like celebration हो जाए, कुछ मीठा हो जाए. Then they started that is कुछ मीठा हो जाए, पहली तारीख है कुछ मीठा हो जाए. So you don't need any occasion for having sweets. So today you feel today is just first day of the month, you can have sweets, you can indulge on that based on your mood. So they started targeting your moods, and that advertisement, that is how they created the emotions. So your emotions, very important. Your target audience, based on your target audience, you will understand what are the emotions you need to trigger for. So if you understand your target audience, you can easily catch on the emotions, and you know which is the platform available for this marketing. Obviously, the other platforms are your if you are talking about political issues or something like that worldwide, then go on Twitter. That is the best platform. Kapil Sharma is the best example for that. So he is selling humor, he is selling happiness. So through that, that is his USP. But where he is going now, he has catch hold of Netflix, because Netflix is one of the common social media platform where everyone is available or everyone is seen. Since COVID time, all the people were comfortable to be on Netflix, as well as you can see the Bollywood is started facing problem because theater people are not ready to go, and people now maximum people or most of the people they know after 2 months, the things will be seen easily available on Netflix. Why should I go in the theater and go and spend 300 bucks or 400 bucks sitting at home? I can lavishly enjoy that. I can have good kind of entertainment. I can work as per my timing also, work here as well as have the entertainment and have some food also. So a party kind of thing is there. So you need to understand your target audience. You need to understand the trend. You need to understand what is the platform they are available and what are the tools which are very effective. As I said, Instagram. If you want to get famous or if you want to get noticed on Insta, the best is make the reel and make the reel of your own self or something funny or something kind of people will notice you. If you're really seriously talking that this is a mouse and this is what, sorry, am I able to show? This is the
Yeah, yeah,
product which
yeah,
I'm
yes.
going to advertise. People are not going to notice you at all. Though the product is like very important or very useful for you. So you should know how to advertise, how to brand it. That's it from my side.
I'll quickly
Wonderfully said. And yes,
two
yes, sir.
examples I would give. Being the IPL season,
Yes, sir.
CSK. If you look at across India, the fan following is the maximum. Any stadium, if you go and watch, this very IPL. Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad, it was full only for the CSK versus GT match, not any other matches, right? So, two things people associate CSK with. One is that whistle podu, and then the LOE. That LOE brand is something there. One other example here, staying in CSK itself, you have to use a popular brand to promote some other brand. Okay, in the
Correct.
same, I've heard this from the India Siemens chairman himself in one of the conferences. India Siemens was restricted to just south or more in Tamil Nadu. How did they penetrate into north? For all the distributors who got signed up way back in 2008-9, they had a evening dinner time with CSK team. That's how India Siemens as a brand which owns CSK moved to a larger this thing. So promote your brand using some other brand which is even popular,
Correct.
right? So
Even
I
I
thought
would,
let me start.
Yes, ma'am.
no, no. Yeah, you were
Yes.
saying.
So you were saying something?
No, I'm done.
Okay. Yes. Yes, Dr. Preeti.
So even I would like to add to this, as you said, IPL. So if you want to promote IPL, as you said about stadiums, nowadays what people are doing, like malls or any hotels or banquets also, they had opened up the screening and they have put up big hoardings that IPL screening is available. So come and have that
Yes.
experience, large experience, larger than life experience. So this is how that product is sold. If you're sitting there for 3 hours, you will buy at least a coffee. Slowly, you
Yep.
will buy a French fries, or you'll start munching on one sandwich. At least you will order, though you're not hungry. So that is the way they are associated. As you said, it should be associated. I'm a BNI member, so today only we had a meeting, and in that one of the person, like one to one we were doing. So he said like his brand is Aqua Tattva, that is alkaline water. So he was saying that he is doing affiliation marketing. So if my product, I'm a coach and I'm a trainer, so I'm associated with the company. The moment I'm going there or I'm meeting some person or the business owner or the person who is taking decision, and I'm talking about this and the product I'm using. So the person will ask what it is about and how beneficial. So this is how I'm promoting the other person's product. You will get 10% off, and as I'm promoting, I'll get 20% off. So this is how a same facilities I can tell the other person. This is how affiliation marketing works. So two, three brands coming together, collaborating, and they are promoting each other's product. So your business is also done, and my business is also taken care of. That is how branding works. That is how we can encash on branding.
Wonderfully said. Yes, it's this is the era of collaborations, I think, and by collaborating, you just don't promote your product, but you associate. Either you create a new product, or you like really have a different or a bigger reach. So I think yes, a wonderful example cited. I think I think the highlights of this conversation was that you need to have your marketing, rather target audience very clear, be it boomers, be it Gen Zs, millennials, Gen X, or the current alpha. I mean, everyone, their needs, what are their requirements. I think a classic example I would like to say of any brand really connecting to all this is, I think we all know, is Geo today. When Geo entered the market, it actually was really touching every generation's emotions, because that was the need of an hour. And today they are like really the leaders. So I think, yes, some really wonderful examples we have, and you have also added some really really wonderful insights to this conversations. So I also would like to understand from you, you know how does a poor branding, or rather, what exactly is the poor branding? Could you help us understand some examples where a companies also get an idea that what they should not be doing when it comes to branding?
Mm, okay.
Let me start, and I'll put a holistic, not just
Yes.
poor branding, but what they should do on a regular basis,
Yes,
right?
sir.
This one
Yes, sir.
something I talked about earlier. Also, we should not be overdoing things. That is a key message we have. We have to reduce the noise, and then we should also, associate easily with, as far as possible, try to not use any thing where it could lead into a reputation issue, right? Using someone, get into a religious sentiment. I don't want to give any examples here, right? But getting into that, or anything associated with political environment, because when things change, you may be getting into a rough weather. So
Right.
as much as possible, keep away from, keep it as agnostic as possible, so that your reputation stays intact at any given point in time, right? So that is one. And since I deal a lot with resilience related consulting, reputation gaining takes a lot of time, but a reputation loss is like a free fall in a, roller coaster ride. Like it takes a long time to go up, but falling it's faster. So
Yes.
whatever good work we did, it will immediately get done. So have a very clear review mechanism for whatever we are doing, so that there is, you can't go back and say that, if we have outsourced the entire branding to a third party people, uh, don't put the blame on them. Accountability will lie on the organization itself, not the third party. So own the accountability, right? You can't go back and say that my admin did it. People will
Correct.
not take that. So have a
Correct.
review mechanism. Today, since I'm involved in audits and other things, all the corporates, as part of their internal audits, they have brand audit also happening. Have a mechanism, someone to do a brand audit, how it is positively or negatively impacting over a period of time. Is the branding and promotion is really added value, or it is not adding value, right? You need to have that mechanism in place, right? Have a very clear monitoring mechanism. Today, if you look at many of the big, take it Zomato or Indigo, they make sure that all the feeds using their handles is monitored 24 bar 7, and they try to respond immediately, so that the reputation impact can be controlled immediately. So have
Right.
a very clear monitoring mechanism, right? Otherwise, if you come and monitor later, then the damage cost is going to be much higher. So the moment you come in, and the person in a senior level, if they are able to respond and address, it gives a message very clearly that there are senior people of the organization involved and responding to you, right? So that the egos are being handled in a possible way. I'll pause here. So these are all the things that you will have to have. Have a very clear process document, audit process, and review process, so that, and a crisis management plan in case if something adverse happens. Right.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderfully said. Dr. Preeti, your views, please.
Yeah. As sorry, as you said, as you rightly said, yes, process is very important. But yes, when we are talking about what we should not do, negative publicity, we should never try for that. And when you talk about auditing, when you auditing here means simple word as taking the ownership. That is what the brand should learn. Take the ownership of whatever steps you have taken, the way you are doing the branding in the market, or the way you have approached. So learn to take ownership, learn to take accountability for it. And as you do audit, that means you do review, find out where is the loophole, where is that blind spot, and work on it. That is what everyone has to take care. And what you should not do is, once you have set the image, once you have done one type of branding or one method you have adopted, you should not be relaxed on that. That is what I would like to add on. Like, people will think, "Ki, now this is done, this is set, the market is set, now the products will be sold." No, you have to find out what innovative things you can add, which is not harming anyone's sentiments. Because branding is totally based on emotions, and emotions are created by the image you create here. So, by the impression you give to the people. So, what you want to give, that you should be clear. What you want people to assume you as, the image should be clear here, and you need to continuously take review, and that image should be clean and crystal clear. It should not be attached with any religion, or it should not speak about or against any religion. So basically, it should be kind of neutral. That would be better. And target the emotions in a good way, positive emotions and good things happening. If you are associated, if they do this, then obviously there is a scope, good scope for them. That is what I would like to sum up.
Wow, wonderfully said, friends. I mean, yes, certainly, sir, and ma'am. That as you rightly said, we need to really ensure that we are presenting to the market is something which is going in the right mindset, with a positive mindset, and of course, not harming anyone else. And that's when you're creating your brand or your identity in the market. One last question I have. I want from to know from you both, what are the future trends that the company should really consider when they are trying to build their brand. So any quick I would say feedbacks or guidance you would want to give the audience about the future trends and how they could really work towards building their brand more strong. Ma'am, if you could go first.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, future trends. To come up with the brands. Future trend is AI. Always keep saying, yes, rely on AI. I know people are mostly relying on AI, using more and more of AI, but don't forget to use EI. So your AI combination with EI is very important. As my PhD is in management, that is emotional intelligence of employees at workplace. So I believe, though we pretend that we are so practical oriented, but certain things impact on our mind, body, and soul.
Yes.
So
Yes.
use wisely all your tools and then go. Futuristic, you need to be make it more easy and more memorable. But that memorable, it can happen only with the use of a combination of AI and EI. That's what I would like to see.
Wonderfully, wonderfully said. So when you're saying EI, I am sure you mean your emotional intelligence with your artificial intelligence is what you're trying to tell our audience. So yes, a very important point here, friends, that you need to yes, tools and AI and automation is something which is changing our lives, but at the same time, as she ma'am rightly said, that emotional intelligence and the feeling or the thought behind it is also equally important when you're creating your brand. Sir, your views, please.
So I would like to resonate what Dr. Preeti talked about. Today, leveraging AI is something necessity. I would say, to put in other words, a necessary evil. If we want to put it in this way, right? We will have to adopt it. Uh, However, we have to embrace. Don't believe in AI to its totality, and very clearly, it also says we do make mistakes. Right? It's like Wikipedia. If you
Yeah.
look at Wikipedia, the disclaimer very clearly says that we are not validating any of the information, because every person can contribute in Wikipedia and there is no verification mechanism. Likewise, AI is also having a lot of good data. It has also a lot of junk data, right? We really don't know. So build your natural intelligence in such a way that at least whatever output we are getting from AI, make it effectively. For that, one key skill we will have to learn today is something called prompt engineering, right? To
Yeah.
be a master of AI, you need to have a very good prompting done, so that you are, what Facebook or any other, what is in your mind. You have to describe what is in your mind in the best possible way, so that we are able to maximize that. So start leveraging it. It makes life easier for any business owner, especially the startups, where a lot of things they can get it done, but not use it as is. Try to validate and then use it, and have the same mechanism what we mentioned about the crisis management plan and other things, so that in case of any adverse situation, you are able to roll back or take course corrections immediately.
Right. Wonderfully said. So wonderfully said. I think really wonderfully put the points, very important points, friends, here today. That yes, we are in the era of AI, but very importantly, we need to understand how to use it wisely. Because at the end of it, what you're trying to present or what you're trying to bring it to the people is something which you know better than just a machine. So you could add your inputs, your values, your thought process behind it, and take the assistance of AI and automation to bring it, or rather really curate it for you in a better way to bring it to the people. And wonderfully points put up, sir. It was a wonderful discussion with you and ma'am, you and sir. Very important points put here. And I think very important things are, yes, your target audience is very important when you're creating your brand. You need to connect with every generation. What is the need of every generation? How can you reach them? So I think the overall, what we need to tell the audience is your brand connects with the emotions of people. So here it's very important that you create that kind of niche service where you're solving a problem for people and you're presenting it rightly to the people so that they can connect with your brand. Is if I'm correct, so this is what we need to summarize from the entire conversation, or if there is anything more to add, I think we can really guide our audience on this as well. So any inputs from any one of you on this? Yes, Dr. Preeti. Oh, sir, please go ahead.
Uh,
Please go ahead, sir.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sir,
So,
please go
so
ahead. Yes.
right. Summarizing the entire aspect of it, uh, you know, everything is a process and a system, right? So when we start, uh, associate your branding also to your business strategy, right? Don't have a separate strategy. Align, your business strategy goals. In that, you have to align your branding and other strategy also along with your business strategy. Have a well-defined process map or process documentation done, so that we are able to do that. Wherever possible, leverage technology to the maximum. Use the right audience and the right mechanism of branding, so that you are reaching it. Associate the branding with your product and services very clearly. Wherever possible, associate your branding with something like, which can promote or boost the branding. Use a brand ambassador or any other aspects. Most importantly, brand, it takes a lot of time to build, but it will fall fast. So have a mechanism to monitor all of these, so that you are able to do a correction immediately in case of any negative impact happening on your brand. That's what I would sum up.
Right. Dr. Preeti, your views,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, sir had already covered all the points. I would like to add one important point is when any startups are taking boost or are going to or come in the market, what they do is they try to imitate someone. They try to follow the competitors or they want to do the same thing. But here, for anyone and for everyone, one thing you have to do if you're trying to copy, not necessary you will be successful because your heart and soul is not there in that. So
True.
see where is your heart and soul where you can resonate. If I see someone is good at pitching something else, Not necessary I'm good at pitching. So what I'm good at writing. So I should focus on that and instead of imitating. So when you're working on your brand or when you're working on your particular company or your startup, see what is your niche. Identify what you are good at. Basically, what you love to do. That is only one thing. If you know what this is the work which I love to do and I can go for hours and hours, then that is the way you should adopt instead of going what others are doing. With that,
Right.
obviously, your automation is required as we were talking about new age and futuristic. So, automate most of the things which are kind of mechanisms are there. Those mechanisms you need to adopt in your business so that, sorry, when you're into startup, what you do is you have n number of things. You're looking at operations, you're looking at finance, you're looking at marketing, you're looking at sales, you're looking at your product and how to pitch. So when you're doing all those things, you need to have some mechanisms or automation, certain things to be put on automation. And for that, you get so many people nowadays. They are expert in that. Take the expert help, but do what you love to do. Focus on that. Don't imitate. That is what I would like to say.
Wow,
Thank you.
wonderfully said. And thank you so much for this wonderful session today. And thank you for giving us your valuable time and sharing your valuable knowledge with us, and even educating our audience upon this a very important topic on the process of the power of branding. So thank you once again. I really thank you both for giving us your time. And friends, this was today with us Dr. Preeti and Mr. Vidyanathan Chandramoli sharing their knowledge on power of branding. And I'm sure this has added a lot of value to you. So stay tuned and we will come up with more such encouraging and different topics with more such wonderful sessions. So stay connected with us and thank you so much. Have a nice evening. Thank you.